this does. Does that do anything? I don't know. So I'm waiting for it to come up on YouTube. That's where I normally get all my feedback from. Hello? Hmm. Here's something very faint. But where is my audio? Let's turn this up. Well, I hear that fine. So if anybody is in watch land there, they can tell me if you're hearing anything or not. That would be helpful. Turn that up. Now I do hear that a little more. All right. That's much better. See, is that YouTube? Now, how's that? All right. Maybe that works. I hope so. So, if it wasn't working, let me explain again. I was supposed to have a guest. Tay was supposed to join me, and he's running late. So, I don't have a guest right now. So, as usual, it's me. Don't be disappointed. I'm going to be as charming as ever. So, we were going to talk about chef stuff. Because if you've watched the channel at all, you realize I am a self-designated chef. So, I was going to coronate Tay as chef tonight, but since he's here, he'll just have to miss out. But when I say chef talk with Tay, it was basically going to be talk about what'd you cook last night? Did you burn it? Did you eat it? Because a chef always eats his mistakes. That way there's no proof, right? That it was even a mistake. If there's no proof, it never happened. So, but until he gets here, we won't call him a chef. He's just Tay. So I've been making these videos, and it started out because I had watched a video on making 2-ingredient biscuits. And I don't want to get into making videos and editing videos and doing all those other things that come along with making YouTube videos. And I'll just admit to it, and I'm lazy and I don't want to do that. Because it takes time. It takes time, right? And I put some music in there, put some transitions in there, and I do very little editing on these little videos that I've put out so far. So I don't want to get into that whole production thing. That's the reason I wanted to go live with a talk show, so that whatever happened pretty much happened. Like right now, if the audio sucks, it sucks. The one thing I did try to do, I tried to go back and fix my problem that I had in my first Christmas show, because it was echoing and I didn't realize it. I couldn't correct it. And so all through the video, even though I did get it down a little bit in the background, it was, I don't know, it was frustrating to listen to afterwards. And I tried and tried, and I downloaded software, tried to correct it. So that was one thing about these live that I did try to correct. Other than that, I haven't tried to correct any of this stuff. If it turns out bad, like last week's show or Thursdays where we were song building, and OBS software, Landon couldn't get it to work. He couldn't stay connected. You know, we did a complete swap, went to StreamYard, put that back up. All that's still in there. And so I didn't edit that out. I didn't cut it out. I just let it roll. So that was one of the things I didn't want to get into with making videos, because you always hear the YouTube channel guys on, you know, to come out with a 30-minute video, they're editing 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours worth of video and putting in all this and doing talkovers, voiceovers, and all that stuff. So, and I didn't want to do that. And as you may tell, the channel may reflect that. And, you know, I guess I decide whether I can live with that or not, which is more important. You know, no editing, just doing it, and then I cut the computer off and go to sleep after the show. It's up as soon as YouTube processes it. It's live for people to watch, or, you know, it's recorded for people to watch. I don't do anything with it. If I make one of those cooking videos and it's, you know, 20 minutes long, it takes me that long, because I'm doing it on the phone. It takes me that long to edit it, and then to get the transitions in there, come up with the music, process that video on the phone, then upload it into YouTube. And once it uploads into YouTube, then they have to process it. And then once it's all done, I have to look at it to make sure that it is there. Okay? So, that's what started the chef talk. I decided I would make the two ingredient biscuit, and the first one didn't turn out. Second one was a little better. The third one was okay. And so that snowballed into, hey, I've got some turnips. I've heard about cauliflower pizza crust. If you've ever had a turnip, I don't know, man. It's like cauliflower's, you know, half sister. That's what it is. So I made pizza crust out of turnip, and it turned out okay. I let the guys taste it that normally come on the show and watch the show, and they said it tastes like pizza. You know, you put the sauce on it, you put the spices in it. I had cheese on it, and it tasted like pizza. So, Clell's on. Does the stream sound okay to you? Is it loud enough? I was listening in one ear and out the other, and I couldn't hear the YouTube stream, so I had to make some changes. And now I hear the YouTube stream. I just want to make sure that if you can hear it, because I've been talking now, you know, like 10 minutes almost, and I hope there's sound. So, yep, sounds good. Good. Okay. So, did you hear the part where I was supposed to have Tay come on and we were going to talk about cooking? I don't know when you jumped in here, because I just saw where you said howdy. So, what I want to do is I want to turn one of these settings off, and then see if you can still hear me, because I don't know if it should be on. It may be okay without it. So here we go. Starting from this point. Okay, so now the setting is back on. I've been talking. Have you been hearing this, that part? Been here about 3 minutes, right? Okay, it said lost you. So you didn't hear some of that. Now you should be able to hear me again. Is that correct? So, Video's gritty, I know. For some reason, Jennifer is stealing all my bandwidth. I don't know. She's greedy. Okay, so I'm back up. So that setting that I changed did make a difference. Well, that's good to know. So Tay may or may not be joining me. I discussed it. Claire, were you here when I was talking about why I don't do videos, about being lazy? So average view duration 2 minutes. So apparently, this is a side note. Everything's a side note. So apparently right now we've had 11 views and the average watch time is 2 minutes. People, nobody likes a quitter. Get on. Stay on. Watch it to the end. Don't be a quitter. There. That's my pep talk. And Coach Milo, don't be a quitter. No one likes a quitter. So, I'm going to talk about cooking. Yes, yes, and more yeses. All right. So, I don't know what to do. Average time to render frames, 10 milliseconds, 9 milliseconds. So, I think it's just my graphics card. I think some of it is the internet. I got a different router I'm about to try. So, anyway, maybe that will help. I just can't figure it out. Because when it was 4 of us on, and I started using StreamYard, it seemed like it was doing better. And I've watched some of that video, and it looked good. But the reason I switched to OBS was because my StreamYard videos were hiccuping and glitching and skipping and doing all that stuff. And so now it just seems like it's kind of traded that OBS is now my problem child. And, you know, the StreamYard stuff was okay. So if I thought about it, maybe it's OBS is not so great when I'm having guests. And I know I don't have a guest on screen right now, but I have it set up to accept guests. So I have to use a little bit different setup when I'm expecting a guest. And StreamYard, when it was hiccuping, it was just me. But it seems like maybe the guest portion of that one's better. So I don't know. So, cooking. I did a short not too long ago about something I made for lunch. And it was what I call a medley. To me, that just means you throw a bunch of stuff, usually in a skillet, you fry it up, and you eat it. And I don't remember what all was in this thing. I know, you know, it was the, I won't say cover photo, but it was the thumbnail for this video. I can't really see it right now, but I mean, it looked, as I recall, it had peppers in it. It probably had cucumbers in it. It probably had squash in it. It had all kinds of stuff in it that I had just chopped up and threw in an iron skillet and started sauteing it in oil. And like most everything that I cook, it ended up on what? A tortilla. Tortillas are the bestest thing for my style of cooking. Because you just, whatever it is, you throw it in there and you roll it up with cheese and you eat it. And there you go. And you're done. Right? So, and I know I've talked about cooking before, not necessarily cooking, but, you know, what wouldn't you eat? What would you eat? Those kind of things. So, I'll eat about anything, and that's the way I cook. Most things I like to cook are fried. I haven't, except for that little short where I showed And I was sauteing all those vegetables and stuff like that. I don't cook other things like bake a lot. Most everything I cook's fried. Try to anyway. Because I like to throw salt, pepper, and hot sauce and all kinds of stuff in there with it. So the frying is, I guess, would be my style. And throwing everything in there is also my style. So when I was a bachelor and I would have the women over, we would stir fry. We had electric wok. And to me, stir fry is just like that. You throw stuff in there, you pour stuff in on top of it, and you fry it up. And you throw ginger in and stuff to make it Asian, and then you eat it. So, there's chicken, shrimp, whatever it is you put in there, vegetables, and, like chicken, you might marinate it for hours, minutes, however long you've got, then fry it, then throw all your vegetables in there, then throw your wines or your beers or your sautés or your peppers or whatever in there, and then you eat it. And that's what's good about stir fry, because it's just kind of like stuff that you throw in there, you cook it up. So it wasn't a leap for me to try turnips in a pizza crust. So, is that chef material? Probably not, because I don't worry about sweet and sour and hot and spicy and cool and, all that other stuff. I chop it up, I throw it in a skillet, put oil on it, salt, pepper, and eat it. So the recipe I do try to follow loosely most of the time, if there is one, like cauliflower pizza crust. I followed that, except I used turnip. Okay, the 2-ingredient biscuits, I followed that, except there at the end, I used bacon and cheese in my biscuit. So, yeah, I mean, a recipe is a good start, but you don't have to follow that all the time. And speaking of recipes, one of the things I have, if I can find it, is a book. And I don't know, maybe we talked about this on another show. Maybe I showed this one other show. But I found this, the Auxiliary Presents Favorite Recipes of Auxiliarians and Hospital Personnel. Let's see if I can hold that up. And you can read it. So I came across this book a while back, and I think I have shown it maybe on one of the other shows. I hope. Because it has good recipes in there. And I don't usually set out. If I find something that interests me, then I'll cook it, like the recipe. But most of the time, it's just random stuff that I throw together. So when we used to do a lot of camping, and if my camper wasn't tore up, would probably still be doing camping. But when my kids were young, we used to always go. And I don't know why, but one time camping, we got it was shrimp coated with, like, I don't know, it was like garlicky coating, and it was frozen in a bag. And so camping, I made shrimp scampi, but it was just basically I boiled spaghetti, and while I was boiling the spaghetti, I took this shrimp that had this bread. I don't guess it was really breading. It was more of like a garlicky coating. And as I recall, you were supposed to either fry it or bake it. But I had it in a bag, and I threw it in the pot with the spaghetti. Right? So all that stuff that was on the shrimp to make it garlicky, that flavor, melted off of it. The shrimp were cooked when I was boiling the spaghetti, because I mean, you know, they were I don't know, you know, the split shrimp with the tails still on them, but they were frozen, so I dumped them in there and boiled it all together. And my kids loved it. They absolutely loved it. They like shrimp, they like spaghetti. Put the two together, and they loved it. And that became one of the things we always cooked, was the shrimp scampi. And so those are the kind of things that I end up doing. Let's see. Hold on a minute. I need to close this out. Sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay. I closed out. Well, I hadn't closed out. I had minimized, like the software, that if Tay were to come on, that's where he would be. Excuse me. So the shrimp scampi. That my stuff's kind of just thrown together, right? So, and that's how you get some of the good recipes. But I normally don't look in books a lot, and if I do find something, then I might cook it once or twice, and then throw my spin on it. So let's see. There was something that I had here. What did I look at? I had it marked. It may have been maybe it was just the name of this one. Molded apple grapefruit salad. Does that sound yummy? Molded apple grapefruit salad. And I looked through quickly here. I don't see any molded apple being listed as the ingredient. It's got lemon jello, apples chopped, grapefruit and juice canned, celery chopped, nuts, mayonnaise, whipped cream, and chopped marshmallows. So, okay, volume's still low. Okay, what I can do is I will do voila. Let me know if that's better. I just turned that up. And now, yeah, well, you said mold. Yes. And now that you say it like that, now that I've read the ingredients, molded, I'm assuming, is going to be a Jello salad. Okay? There you go. Formed. But, as you can see, how would you spell molded? Like I left the bread out too long and it got molded. Is that something different? Am I missing that? Spelling is not my strong suit. Growing a beard's a strong suit. I don't know. Saying I don't know a lot, that's a strong suit. But spelling is not one of my strong suits. So is mold, like on bread, the same as mold? Like getting your crap together in a ball. Is that the same? Is that the same as molded? So mold and mold. I love the English language. You know, mole hole, mold, molded, molasses. What did the? Never mind. I won't tell you that one. But see, right in here. I don't know if it'll focus on that or not. Chunky, chunky, chunka. Where is it? I can't see. That's kidney soup bean something. Yeah, there it is. Molded apple grapefruit salad. So molded means jello. What do you mean I can't read? I read it. Didn't you? If I can read, I read it. So I had that. There was another one in here that was just really bizarre. And what I used to do with this book is on Instagram, on my secret squirrel Instagram, uh, mold is formed, mold is fungus. Yep, English language is great. On my other Instagram account that I have, I would take a picture of these and post one up like every week, something like that. It was just a thing that I started doing. And I would go through here and pick out some of the funny ones. And corned beef mayonnaise. Oh my gosh. Corned beef mayonnaise. And one of the ingredients is lemon jello. I don't know. And the reason, let me backtrack just a tad bit on this book. All right. So, the auxiliary presents favorite recipes of auxilians and hospital personnel. So, what this book actually is, okay, it is a recipe book, of course. Recipes submitted by employees of HVH and Medical Center. All right. So HVH is the Holston Valley Hospital and Medical Center. Auxiliary members, junior auxiliary, original auxiliary, and physicians' wives. Okay. So Holston Valley Hospital and Medical Center, published by the auxiliary of the Holston Valley Hospital and Medical Center. I don't know which version this is. It doesn't say when this one was printed, but the first one came out in 1959. And you could buy these. These were auxiliary, you know, back in the day when hospitals were truly a community place. You know, they had auxiliaries. They had women that came in and men came in and volunteered and, you know, helped throughout the day. And these people were, I'm assuming, the cooks in the cafeteria. And they would cook meals probably for patients too. So you could buy the book for $6.95. So this was out of Kingsport, Tennessee. I wished it showed, in the back it's got all kinds of quantities and breakdowns. I wished it would show when this one was printed. But I just don't see a date of publish on this one. All right, so anyway, I'm sorry. What got me off on that tangent was the lemon jello. Because it was an ingredient in that first one that I read. So jello, I always associate with hospital food because, I don't know, man, it's like jello is just what you're eating when you're in the hospital. They always give you jello. But corned beef mayonnaise, lemon jello. 1 can of corned beef, 3/4 cup mayonnaise, 3 hard-boiled eggs. It's getting better. Cup of celery, half a green pepper, some pimento, some onion, and sweet pickle. Here's the instructions. Prepare Jell-O. When cool, add corned beef and remaining ingredients, all finely chopped. And I guess you put it in there before it congeals. Because as I remember making Jell-O, you boil water, you pour the stuff in there, you stir it around, and then you throw it in the refrigerator. Is that the way that works? As I recall. So I'm thinking what you do here is you make the Jell-O, and before it, it thickens and you put it in the refrigerator, you mix all this other stuff in a bowl, and then you put it in there. This is almost too good not to try. I mean, it doesn't have to be lemon Jell-O, does it? I mean, if I went downstairs and found grape Jell-O, would it make a big difference in the quality of this? But I mean, I'm not a chef, so, and true to form, what I should do is try the recipe as is, and then tweak it to my own, put my own little spin twist on it. I've got hot water downstairs. I really do. I've got some eggs. I got some chicken eggs. I don't have celery. What I do have is some beets. Uncooked, right out of the ground beets. I don't have a green pepper. I may make this. I really may. Ellie may. Ellie may. I like Ellie Mae. Ellie Mae, clamp it. I've got to keep the bookmark there on corned beef mayonnaise. Okay. More things. Why would you call it corned beef mayonnaise? Yes, it has mayonnaise in it, but dang it, it's got lemon Jell-O in it. Why not lemon Jell-O corned beef? Are they thinking they're going to slide that fact in on you that it's got lemon Jell-O in it? Sir, what would you like for your meal? Well, I would really like to try your corned beef mayonnaise. That sounds wonderful. And then they bring you a slab of it, and it's in lemon Jell-O. And just for you people, Cleo, that you don't think I'm making this stuff up. Oh, come on. Where are you? Can we get it closer? Can you focus in on that? Can you read that? I don't know. If you can't, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Some of these though, I mean, some of them kidney bean salad. That sounds normal, right? Chocolate cream pie. Chocolate tidbit pie. Let's see what a tidbit pie is. Chocolate tidbit pie. You got to have a 6-ounce package of chocolate bits. You got to have some milk, egg yolks, not the whites, but the yolks, sugar. All right, so apparently what you do here is you've got to have 4 eggs. You separate the yolks from the whites, and you beat the whites, I guess, to make it like a, frothy. and some vanilla. Melt in a double boiler chocolate bits, milk and sugar, then cool slightly. Stir in egg yolks. Fold in egg whites and add vanilla. Pour into a bake pastry shell and let set until firm. All right. So here's what I want to point about this recipe. I want to point this out. I mean, I read it just like it's written down right here. Pour into a bakery pastry shell and let set until firm. You're not cooking the eggs, people, at all. As I understand it, raw eggs are not to be eaten. Now, have I done it? Well, yeah. Did anybody watch the Rocky movies? How could you not watch a Rocky movie and not try drinking or eating, however you want to say it, raw eggs? Do you drink or eat raw oysters? I don't chew them things. The time that I had them, I didn't chew them. No. You just slide them down. But people, you're not cooking the eggs at all. You mix those things and it would be a food truck hit, but only on a hot, hot summer day when, it's been sweltering in the heat. No, man, it don't even say stir, pour, stir, fold, pour, nothing. The hardest part to me would be melting the chocolate bits in the double boiler with the milk and the sugar. That's the only cooking part to this whole thing. It's the only time heat is ever employed. It's when you're melting the chocolate bits into the milk and sugar. The rest of the time, well, I'm sorry, it says to stir in the egg yolks. And then fold in the egg whites and add vanilla. So stirring is like this. Folding is like that. But you've beaten the egg whites. Are they fluffy? I don't know. I'm not trying this one. And why do they call it tidbit pie? The bits are melted. They're no longer bits. They're just melted chocolate. And there's not even one tid in it. Not one tid. Melted bits, but no tids. All right. See, baked chicken sandwiches. 30 slices of thin bread cut in rounds with a tuna fish can. Interesting. Baked chicken salad. You need 30 slices of thin bread cut in rounds with a tuna fish can. Use 3 rounds of bread for each sandwich, putting filling on 2 rounds, which is made by combining the first 4 ingredients. Ice top and slides of sandwiches with icing made by combining last 3 ingredients. Refrigerate for 24 hours or freeze. Let's look at the ingredients. You got cans of chicken, eggs cooked and sliced or diced, eggs cooked and diced, chopped ripe olives, mayonnaise, Old English cheese spread, 2 5-ounce cans, 1 raw egg, and a half a cup of butter. man. You combine the first 4 ingredients. So, chicken, eggs cooked and diced, ripe olives, and mayonnaise. Alright, so you combine that stuff. And that makes the first 2 layers. Okay, ice top and sides. Okay, of sandwiches with icing made by combining the last 3 ingredients. The last 3 ingredients are the Old English cheese spread, the raw egg, and a half a cup of butter. I mean, you know, eggs don't really scare me, but you hear about it all the time. I didn't even know this. This is the kind of chef I am, man. I didn't even know that flour is considered raw. Now, I don't eat flour out of the jar or out of the bag or anything, you know, like that. But it's recommended that it be refrigerated. And the people I've been talking to lately put theirs in the freezer. Did my granny do that? I don't think so. I think my granny had the canisters, flour, sugar, I don't know what the other one was, salt, pepper, I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 of these, you know, canisters in her kitchen all the time. And I'm sure, and then in my mom's home, I'm pretty sure there was a thing full of flour, a thing full of sugar, and a thing full of, you know, something else. At least 3. There's almost, to my mind, there's almost always 3, right? So, but now you're supposed to refrigerate it and keep it frozen. Back whenever this thing was printed, you know, already 2 of the 3 recipes I looked at had raw, uncooked eggs in them. People didn't bat an eye, man. Now it's like, oh, raw egg. Oh, go wash your hands. Go wash your hands. Wipe that down and get some Clorox bleach. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Chef Tay never made it. We've been doing this for 46 minutes. Probably the video on this thing's gonna suck like an Electrolux because I noticed my average time to render is like 13 milliseconds. Frames missed due to rendering lag was, well, it says 0%, and frames skipped due to encoding lag is 1. So I don't know. Maybe it won't be too bad. YouTube is still warning me that the stream's bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate for 30 frames per second. TIDs and bits are all melted a tad. But they didn't even start out with TIDs, man. They just started out with bits. I think it's a scam. Never put flour in the fridge myself. Well, I do now. I mean, you know, it says right there on the bag, flour is raw. Do not eat. Well, I wouldn't eat. Who would eat flour? I mean, I guess people have done it, tried it, whatever. You wouldn't eat flour. You snort that stuff, man. It's powder. Who would eat it? You know? My goodness. What silly people are out there. I didn't see that. Clell says oysters are delicioso. Would you eat smoked oysters out of a can if I bought them over to Dollar General? Would you? I have. I have. I'm brave, boys. I am brave. Taters are raw too. I know it. I ate that turnip raw. And I thought turnips, as I recall from my childhood, were like a lighter version of a radish. You know, radish has got some, I don't even know. It's spicy. I don't know what you'd consider a radish. Just not horseradish, just a radish like out of the ground, the red radishes. And you bite into them and they've got that almost a horseradishy kind of burn to them. But I remember a turnip as being less than a radish, but with some flavor. Well, that first one that I got and I cut up and ate it, it was almost like eating a potato. It really was. And so when I thought about using turnips to make that pizza crust, I knew it wasn't going to be like overpowering or anything like that. So, yeah, but you've ate smoked oysters, but if you ate them out of a tin can from the Dollar General, pull them open. Now they all are rolling around in the Louisiana hot sauce or the oil or the water or mustard seed grass or something. So, I have. You know what? We were going to talk about camping food too. I talked about my shrimp scampi, but I was also going to talk about what would you cook, you know, if you're going on motorcycle camping, right? Going motorcycle camping, what kind of food do you take? Anyway. All right, well, 50 minutes. 50 minutes. I think I'm going to try. I think I'm going to try sometime, maybe not this weekend, because I don't know. Maybe I got something to do. Corned beef mayonnaise. I think I'm going to try that. I gotta get a couple of ingredients. I'm going to try maybe Sunday. So then I can take it and all the guys at work will have to eat some of it. Corned beef mayonnaise with lemon jello. Yes, sirree. Gonna do it. I know y'all missed Chef Tay, and me too. He would have been a perfect addition to our conversation on crazy recipes and how you cook and my style of cooking. I covered that at the beginning. Everything's fried, so I can tell you stories. I should have videotaped when I made my turnip, beet, purple cabbage, corned beef stew. All right. It turned out purple, but after you heated it back up, it's got to sit 24 hours in the refrigerator to coagulate, make all that bind together, and then you heat it up again the next day. And you throw some salt and pepper in there. It was yummy. It was like fine wine. It got better as it aged over the week, because I'm the only one in my house that eats stuff like that. I should have videotaped that. But anyway, if you watch the video through now, bless you, Clell. If you're watching it afterwards and you've made it this far, even though you might have skipped to see let me see what the end of this thing is. Please, Lord, take me to the end of this. Then I appreciate you watching whatever you watched. Like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, leave a comment, do all that kind of YouTube stuff, because, it makes my warm and fuzzies feel heartful. And so, with that being said, I'm going to sign off with my dancing phalanges. And I know my video sucks because my dancing phalanges are like moonwalking. But anyway, see y'all later. Appreciate it. Next time.